heard the saying, I'm too busy, I'd be a millionaire, at least a millionaire in pennies. I hear it all the time, and I say it all the time. Many times in our world we get caught up in the rat race of life and family and obligations and work and running errands, and we get caught up in this, I just don't have time. And we don't take enough time to consider and think about whether or not we're busy with the right things. If you would, flip with me. I'm going to give you a minute on this one. We're in the Old Testament, in the Minor Prophets. We're going to be in Haggai today. It is 3 books from the end of the Old Testament. So if you go to Matthew, back up a few pages. A little background while you guys are flipping, Haggai was a prophet. One of the prophets immediately after the exile to Babylon. And Haggai was one of the first prophets that came to give them the word of the Lord. Okay? So, this is going to be chapter 1, verse 2. Start right there at the beginning. The Lord of hosts says this, these people say the time has not come for the house of the Lord to be rebuilt. The word of the Lord came through Haggai the prophet. Is it a time for you yourselves to live in your paneled houses while this house lies in ruins? Now the Lord of hosts says this, think carefully about your ways. You have planted much but harvested little. You eat but never have enough to be satisfied. You drink but never have enough to become drunk. You put on clothes but never have enough to get warm. The wage earner puts his wages into a bag with a hole in it. The Lord of hosts says this, think carefully about your ways. Go up into the hills, bring down lumber, and build the house. Then I will be pleased with it and be glorified, says the Lord. You expected much, but then it amounted to little. When you brought the harvest to your house, I ruined it. Why? This is the declaration of the Lord of hosts, because my house still lies in ruins, while each of you is busy with his own house. So on your account, the skies have withheld the dew, and the land its crops. I have summoned a drought on the fields and the hills, on the grain, new wine, olive oil, and whatever the ground yields, on the people and animals, and on all that your hands produce. Israel had been taken into captivity for a major lack of obedience. And they had been released to go back into their land where they came from to rebuild. That's what they were doing. They were rebuilding. And they had this mindset that I have to get myself squared away first. Okay? Haggai comes with a message from the Lord and says this. Those people say the time has not come for the house of the Lord to be built. God's not saying this. God is quoting them. The people, the Israelites, have stated that it's just not time for God's temple to be rebuilt. Now, when the exile happened, the temple was destroyed. I mean, flattened like a pancake. This building was torn down. Okay? When the Israelites came back, in the Old Testament, they needed sacrifices in order to atone for them because Christ hadn't come yet. Okay? And the only way to offer their sacrifices was in the temple. And the only way to have the temple is for it to actually be built. So they're not sitting right with God in the first place. God says, these people say that it's not time for my house to rebuild. Verse 3, the word of the Lord came through Haggai the prophet. Is it time for you yourselves to live in your paneled houses while this house lies in ruins? Now the Lord of hosts says this, think carefully about your ways. In other words, these people had come back to Israel after 70 years in exile and said, God, you're just going to have to wait a little bit longer because I've got to get myself squared away first. And that's what they did. They built for themselves houses. They built for themselves their houses. They were farming again. They were trying to rebuild their country again. They were trying to reestablish themselves before they went and built the temple. Because the temple is an expensive proposition. So they had this mindset that they had to get themselves squared away first, which is just, well, not the case. Verse 5, now the Lord of hosts says this, think carefully about your ways. This phrase in most versions says, consider your ways. My version says, think carefully about your ways. The phrase there is a four-word Hebrew phrase there that takes a whole lot more than one word to get out. So, the problem is choosing the right word. Consider is a really good word. But literally translated, it says, think about your intentions upon your heart, your path that you are going. It's literally roughly translated. That's what that means. Think about your intentions upon your heart, your path that you are going. Sometimes there's just no good word to put that into words. Consider is about the best word for it. Consider your ways. But in other words, it's not just think about your ways. Really take this in and think about what you do. Think about how you do it. Think about your intentions behind what you are doing is essentially what that is saying. Don't just run it through your head a time or two. Take it to heart. Consider it very seriously. Verse 6, you have planted much but harvested little. You eat but never have enough to be satisfied. You drink but never have enough to become drunk. You put on clothes but never have enough to get warm. The wage earner puts his wages into a bag with a hole in it. That's essentially what he's saying, is he's going through all of the problems they're having. You've planted, and you're ready for a harvest. But the harvest isn't quite what you expected. You have enough to eat, but you don't have enough to fill you. You have enough to drink, but not enough to drink. You have clothes, but not enough to get really nice and cozy warm. And even though you make wages, it always seems like there's a hole in the bottom of it. Never enough money. Verse 7, the Lord of hosts says this, think carefully about your ways. When a phrase appears more than once, you need to pay attention. Think carefully about your ways. We're not just talking about some casual thought about, oh, well, maybe we do need to go back and rebuild the temple. No, this is a serious consideration going, hey, folks, wake up. God's here saying, y'all need to think about your intentions. I love the word y'all. That's a great word. It's a way to incorporate you and everybody in the same word. Think about your ways. Verse 8, he expands. Go up into the hills, bring down the lumber, and build the house. Then I will be pleased with it and be glorified, says the Lord. In other words, God is saying, do my work first. Don't give me the leftovers. Do my work first. Don't be going off and trying to build your harvest, and don't be going off trying to build a house for yourself. Don't be going off and trying to take care of you first, and then giving God what is left over. God deserves the first cut. God wants them. It's more than a temple. It is more than a temple. Because in that day and age, without the temple, they don't have anything. I mean, quite literally. The temple was everything. It was their sacrifices. It was the center of their feast. It was the center of everything they did. And without temple, they're not serving God completely. And they just got out of an exile for not serving God completely. Duh. Hello, folks. God's like, hey, pay attention. This is the reason you went into exile. I need to be first. That's what he's saying. God's work is not an afterthought. It's the first thing. Verse 9. You expected much, but then it amounted to little. When you brought the harvest to your house, I ruined it. Why? This is the declaration of the Lord of hosts, because my house still lies in ruins while each of you is busy with his own house. In other words, you do the work, you expect a great profit, but it doesn't turn out like you expected. Because God ruined it. Because you're focusing on you first. It isn't me first. God says it's me first. God first. It's him, not us. God is first. And the way we schedule our lives, God had better be first with everything we do. Verse 10 goes on, so on your account the skies have withheld the dew in the land its crops. I have summoned a drought on the fields and the hills, on the grain, new wine, olive oils, and whatever the ground yields, and on the people and the animals, and all that your hands produce. In other words, God is saying, I'm not letting up until y'all get your lives straight. Until you come back before me and get straight, nothing is going to get let up on. You will have this infliction until you come back and put me first. Saying that you are too busy to do God's work is like thumbing your nose at God. It's an old saying, you thumb your nose at somebody. It's an insult. It's like insulting God. It's like, God, I don't really know if I don't know if I have the ability to do what you called me to do right now. I don't know. It's an insult. God's work should be the first priority in our lives, and then our work should take a seat. But the problem in our culture is that it is a me-first culture. Our problem in our culture is that God works around our schedules instead of us working around God's schedule. Our schedules dominate our lives, and God doesn't. That's a serious problem. Because it is not about a church building. It's not about the temple. It's about doing God's work first. That is the principle that Haggai is trying to proclaim the word of the Lord for. Too many people say, I need more me time. I've got to get myself straight before I come to God. I need more money before I can go serve God. I want to do what I want to do. And by saying I want to do what I want to do, meaning I want to make God conform to my ways. We've got a serious problem with that one too. My friends, if you wait until you have your life all together before you start doing work for God, you're going to be dead by the time that happens. It's not going to happen. You're never going to have it all together. Never, ever. Trust me, I'm a preacher and I don't have it all together. I sin all the time. I read these things, I preach these sermons, and I convict myself as much as I do you. It's like that double-edged sword, the Spirit, He has a tendency to kind of do that. It's like, hey, Ryan, hello? You got a problem here, too. Put God first. Yeah, I have that problem. Very seriously. Very seriously. Because our culture dictates what is important and what's not. Too many people wait to even come to Christ because they think that they just don't have it together enough. And as Christians, as believers, that is the mindset we have to correct. We have to tell them exactly what I just told you. You ain't ever going to have it together. Come to Jesus now before it's too late. Because by the time you have it together, destroyed the profits from the land. All that money bag that always seems to be going empty on you and just never enough to go around. He was holding with dew and rain. In that verse, in the summertime, that region, at least from what I've read, I understand that the dew in the summertime, because it's a desert, has a huge impact on the vegetation. The dew helps keep the plants water. Not only has God withheld the rain, but he's withheld the dew that's going to keep sustaining the crops too. So he's holding everything back. He's going, y'all ain't going to come, you're not going to get it. Dew, rain, profits from our work. My friends, they are all blessings. Have you ever thought about your paycheck being a blessing? Oh, yeah, you better believe it. God gives you the ability to make that paycheck. God gives that company the ability to function, which is another reason why businesses should function on godly principles. If you're not as blessed as you have been in the past, there's one of three possibilities. Number one, Satan's attacking you. Number two, you're not on the same page with God. Number three, God's simply testing you because he's got something else planned for you. He's testing to see your resolve. There's three possibilities, or it can be a combination of all three of them, because God has never got just one purpose in mind. It's always multiple. God is after multiple things. It's the more I study, the more I see the purpose. There's multiple purposes for everything in here. You know, always. Job is a really good instance of God testing. God allowed Satan to attack Job, gave him stipulations, what he could and could not do, because even Satan answers to God. But it's a really good example that God tested the resolve of Job to prove a point to Satan. So if you are not as blessed as you once had been, here's my advice. Think carefully about your ways. Pray to God. Search for his wisdom. Search for his guidance. And truly examine yourself, not just asking the question once in a while, constantly asking yourself that situation. Am I putting God first? Because if you're not putting God first, then it doesn't matter what anything, it doesn't matter, anything doesn't matter. If God's not first, then he's last. My prayer is that you seek God first. Do not let your schedule dominate your life. Don't do it. And again, I'm telling myself just as much as I'm telling you, because my schedule dominates it, and I let it, and it can't. How many times have I talked myself out of doing something because I don't get up and do it right then and there? If I'd have gotten up and did it right then and there, I'd have gone and done it. I mean, it would have been no problem. But I sit around and think about it and weigh the possibilities and, well, is this the right thing to do? Is this not the right thing? Get up and do it. Just go. Go with God. Pray that the Spirit is over you. Pray for the words to say. Build the relationship. We talked about that in Sunday school this morning. It's what everything's about. It's all about relationships. And my prayer for you this morning is that it is a relationship for you. That God is first and foremost. Don't give God the leftovers. God doesn't want leftovers. He wants everything. He wants everything about you. And he's waiting there with open arms to help you walk that path. If only we would turn to him. Think carefully about your ways. Because God does want to bless you. But the problem is that most preachers leave out the if you turn to him part. turn to him. And God will bless you.